So, guys, yesterday I was listening to BBC and there is this story that caught my attention. The story of a Nigerian young man who was scammed 10,000 UK pounds. Now, here is the story. The young man was promised a caregiving job in the UK. So he gave out his 10,000 pounds to facilitate the process. And I don't know if it's an urgent fee or something like that. But it was a painful story. The young man lost the money, and when he arrived in the UK, there was no job. So he had to engage the services of another agent and later on found another job. So this story drives me to this problem. It's becoming very risky for people in overseas or developing countries to find jobs in the US and UK. But there is a pathway. There's a pathway that I've come across. This pathway has been, I heard about it from one of the nurses who is of Ghanaian origin, and she's actually practicing in the United States. So I thought I would share with you this pathway, how it works, and the evidence that is there to support this particular route towards getting into the US healthcare system as a healthcare worker. So if this is your first time on my channel and you find this information to be useful, kindly subscribe to my channel. You can also share. You can also give me likes, share with your friends or loved ones. So without wasting a lot of time, let us now dive into the nitty-gritty of this presentation. So CNA versus PCT roles. So CNA in short, CNA means Certified Nurse Assistant, while PCT means Patient Care Technicians. These are all jobs that are found in the healthcare system. CNA, they do jobs such as bathing, feeding, and assisting patients. These can be in different types of home. You see, in the US, we have different types of homes where we have the elderly people or senior people. And this is where most of the CNAs are working. And CNAs are required to work for 4 to 6, not 4 to 6. Before you become a CNA, you have to get certification. For you to be allowed to work in the United States, you must have the required certifications. And you don't acquire the certifications in your home country. For example, if you are from Nigeria, or if you are from Ghana, or if you are from Kenya, you don't acquire those certifications from your home country. You have to go to the United States for you to do that particular course and for you to be allowed to work in a particular state. For example, if you do the CNA course in California, you will be able to work in California as your state. So what else about CNA versus PCT roles? Are there opportunities for international nurses? So after clarifying the roles, now you know what CNA means, what the CNA do. Is there opportunity for international people? The big opportunity that we have organizations like the MedPro International. We have Worldwide Health Staff Solutions, and we have Bridgeway, which are recruiting agencies. These agencies are known to recruit nurses internationally, and the areas of specialization are CNS. You can be recruited to work as a CNA in the US. So the entry point is that you start as a CNA, but they give you a timeline where you will be required to do the NCLEX. That is, if you are aiming to work as a registered nurse in the United States, you have to do the NCLEX for you to become a registered nurse. It also has the advantage of where you'll be given the EB3 visa. Okay, you will also be able to get a green card, which allows you to legally to live and work in the United States. There is even further advantage of your spouse. If you are married and you have kids who are under 21, you are allowed to come to the United States. And this is actually a game changer for families. So next, what is the process and time like? So here is how it works. You need to do the English language proficiency test. That is the IELTS. Okay, you have to do the IELTS test for you to be considered for the CNA jobs in the USA. You have to create time for you to do this test, but the process is not as fast as possible. This can take you between 18 to 24 months before you complete all the processes of becoming a registered nurse. That is after doing the NCLEX. So just as a tip, you ensure that you start your NCLEX preparation right away. If you're intending, like this is 2025, if you're intending to migrate to the US, you should start now, so that by the time the 24 months lapse, you'll have qualified to be a registered nurse. You don't want to be stuck in that CNA role for a long time. Okay, so CNA should just be like an entry level position for those who are in overseas countries. What are some of the requirements? So if you have been working as a nurse in a country like Kenya or Nigeria, you need a few requirements. Okay, for you to be allowed to be a nurse in Kenya, you must have your diploma from the medical school, and perhaps you should have 2 years of experience working in a hospital or working in a elderly care home. So with these two qualifications, you have your diploma and you have your 2 years experience. You need to prepare a good resume. Okay, a good resume that will capture your work experience. They will be also you will also be able to articulate or highlight your skills and qualifications. So when you have this particular document, you will be able to submit during the applications for these CNA roles. So your aim is just to be an assistant. You are not a registered nurse. Although the process looks simple, we have some challenges. Okay, the road towards becoming CNA and RN in the US is not all that rosy. It is tough. Okay, there are physical demands, and also we have emotional draining activities. Okay, so for experienced nurses, it can feel as depressing as possible, but it's worth the effort. So you can imagine, I want you to imagine this. You may be qualified for your diploma, you've worked in a hospital, maybe you are working in Nairobi Hospital, or you are working in KUTTR as a nurse. Now you are going to the United States. You are going to downgrade and become an assistant. You see, that kind of scenario can be depressing, but you have to be patient because you know what you want. Okay, you are aiming at that RN role. So don't focus on the frustrations. Once you have done all the necessary requirements, okay, you should be patient. Once your paperwork has been processed, that 18 or 24 months will be very short, and you will be, sooner or later, you will be confirmed as a RN. What are the benefits? Now, when you look at CNA role in the United States, the pay is way above the salaries in developing countries like Ghana or Kenya. These people in CNA roles are being paid as much as $16 an hour, which can be a significant amount when you convert it to local Kenyan shillings or nairas in Nigeria. So that is one of the biggest advantage of this particular role. Then another advantage or benefit is that it is a practical entry into the United States healthcare system, and is a stepping stone. Once you have been able to be accepted, once you have been accepted into the system, you can rise up into the role of registered nurse in a very short time. So the advice I want to give you is that you have to be prepared to do the NCLEX exams. You have to prepare, you have to start the process as early as possible, because if you don't do it, you will stay in the CNA role for a long time. Okay, we have successful nurses like Priscilla. They argue that you should not get stuck in the CNA for 10 years. Okay, it's not worth doing that. Then another advice, ensure that you align with people who have people who are inspiring you, peers who are supportive. If you are working as a CNA, you should align yourself with CNAs who are also doing this, maybe part-time classes, people who are preparing for NCLEX. Avoid people who will discourage you from pursuing your dreams. Then also embrace research. Doing research will give you knowledge on what agencies you should go with or you should work with, and those that you should avoid, especially those that are requiring payments upfront. You are likely to be scammed. So finally, in comparison, a comparison between the UK process and the US process, they are almost similar. Okay, in these pre-registered nurse roles. In the UK, you'll be required to work as an assistant, and in the UK, the case is similar. You'll also start as an entry position, and you'll be required to work as an assistant before you get full licensure. However, the US process is longer as compared to the UK process. Becoming a registered nurse in the UK is it takes a shorter time as compared to the US. But the rewards, if you look at the rewards of this process are worth, and you just basically need to be patient and determined. So if you found this information to be useful, kindly subscribe to my channel. Share this information with people who are interested in migrating from Africa to the US or UK through legit processes that have been proven, processes or pathways that have helped other nurses like Priscilla to transit from Ghana to the United States. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.